Imagine that one day, years from now, you look back at your life. You have everything you ever wanted: success, respect, and opportunities. But then you realize something painful. You never became the person you were capable of becoming. The greatest tragedy in life isn't failure. It's potential left unexplored. Today isn't about becoming better than someone else. It's about becoming better than the person you were yesterday. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something we all want but very few truly understand: becoming the best version of ourselves. Many people spend their lives chasing success, money, or recognition. They believe that once they achieve those things, happiness will follow. But success is not the destination. It's the result of becoming someone worthy of it. The real question isn't, what do I want to achieve? The real question is, who do I need to become? As I leave you with one final thought, remember this. Life isn't asking whether you're talented enough. Life is asking whether you're willing to grow. Whether you're willing to choose courage over comfort, purpose over excuses, progress over perfection. One day, someone will ask who you became. Make sure your answer isn't defined by your fears. Make sure it's defined by your choices. So starting today, don't compete with the person beside you. Compete with the person you were yesterday. Because the greatest achievement in life is not becoming famous. It's becoming the very best version of yourself. Have you ever noticed that two people can do the exact same job, face the exact same challenges, and yet respond completely differently? One gives up at the first sign of difficulty, while the other keeps going with determination. The difference is rarely talent. It is rarely intelligence. More often than not, the difference is purpose. Purpose is the invisible force that drives visible success. Most people spend their lives asking, what should I do? They search for the perfect career, the perfect business, or the perfect opportunity. But there is a better question to ask first. Why do I want to do it? Because when your why is clear, your actions become meaningful. When your purpose is strong, your determination becomes stronger than your excuses. Think about a builder laying bricks. If you ask the first builder what he is doing, he might say, I'm laying bricks. Ask the second builder the same question, and he says, I'm building a school where children will learn for generations. Both are doing the same work. Both are carrying the same bricks. But one sees a task, while the other sees a mission. The work hasn't changed, but the meaning has. And meaning changes everything. Many of us believe motivation is something we need to find every morning. We watch videos, read quotes, and wait for inspiration to strike. But motivation is temporary. It comes and goes with our emotions. Purpose is different. Purpose stays with you even when motivation disappears. There will be days when you don't feel like studying. There will be mornings when you don't want to wake up early. There will be moments when your business struggles, your grades fall, or your confidence disappears. If your reason for continuing is based only on feelings, you will stop. But if your reason is connected to something bigger than yourself, you will continue even when it's difficult. That's why successful people don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on meaning. Their purpose becomes the fuel that keeps them moving when the excitement fades. Take a moment and ask yourself a simple question. Why do I want to succeed? Is it only to earn more money? Money is important, but it is not enough to carry you through life's toughest moments. Is it to become famous? Recognition feels good, but it doesn't last forever. Or is it because you want to create a better future for your family, make your parents proud, solve problems, help your community, or leave the world better than you found it? Those reasons have the power to keep you going long after temporary rewards lose their appeal. Purpose also gives direction. Imagine getting into a car and driving without knowing where you're going. You might be moving, but you're not making progress. Many people live this way. They stay busy every day, but they don't know where all that effort is leading. They confuse activity with achievement. Being busy is not the same as moving forward. Purpose acts like a compass. It helps you decide what deserves your time, your energy, and your attention. When you know your purpose, making decisions becomes easier. You stop saying yes to everything because you understand that every yes to the wrong thing is a no to what truly matters. You become more focused, more disciplined, and more intentional. Your calendar begins to reflect your values instead of your distractions. Purpose doesn't have to be something grand or world famous. Not everyone is meant to stand on a big stage or build a billion-dollar company. Sometimes purpose is as simple as becoming the first person in your family to graduate from college. Sometimes it is raising kind children, serving your community, teaching others, creating art, or solving everyday problems with excellence. A meaningful purpose is not measured by its size, but by its significance to you and the people you impact. Another important truth is that your purpose can evolve. The reason that inspires you today may grow as you gain experience. That is perfectly normal. Life changes us, and our purpose often becomes clearer through the challenges we face. You don't need to have every answer today. You simply need to keep asking the right questions and stay open to learning. Every great achievement in history began with someone who believed in a reason greater than themselves. They didn't start because they knew every step of the journey. They started because they believed their purpose was worth pursuing. Their why gave them the courage to take the first step, even when the path was uncertain. So before you chase success, chase clarity. Before you ask what you want to accomplish, ask who you want to serve and why it matters. When your purpose is clear, your actions gain direction, your challenges gain meaning, your sacrifices become worthwhile, and every step you take brings you closer not just to success, but to becoming the person you were meant to be. Have you ever wondered why the things we want most in life always seem to be on the other side of fear? Whether it's starting a business, speaking in front of an audience, applying for your dream job, or simply believing in yourself, the path almost always begins with discomfort. That's because growth has a price, and that price is leaving the place where everything feels safe. As human beings, we naturally seek comfort. Our brains are designed to protect us from danger, uncertainty, and failure. We like routines because they are predictable. We enjoy familiar environments because they require little effort. There is nothing wrong with feeling comfortable. Comfort allows us to rest, recover, and recharge. But the problem begins when comfort becomes our permanent address instead of a temporary stop. Imagine a seed buried in the ground. From the outside, it appears safe. It is protected by the soil, hidden from the wind, and untouched by the storms above. But if that seed chooses to remain exactly where it is, it will never become a tree. It must first break apart. It must push through the darkness of the soil before it can reach the light. Growth requires struggle. Without that struggle, there is no transformation. Our lives work in much the same way. Every meaningful achievement begins with a moment that feels uncomfortable. The first day at a new school is uncomfortable. The first day at a new job is uncomfortable. The first time you stand on a stage is uncomfortable. The first time you launch a business or lead a team is uncomfortable. But those moments are not signs that you are incapable. They are signs that you are expanding. Too often, we mistake fear for a warning to stop. In reality, fear is often a sign that we are about to do something important. Think about the greatest moments of your life. Chances are they were preceded by uncertainty. You were nervous before an exam. You were anxious before an interview. You doubted yourself before making a big decision. Yet those experiences helped shape the person you are today. The challenge is that comfort whispers a very convincing message. It tells us, wait until you feel ready. But here's the truth. Very few people ever feel completely ready. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes because of action. Every time you take a small step into the unknown, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears, and with each step, your confidence grows. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. No one begins as an expert. You wobble, you lose balance, and sometimes you fall. If falling meant you were incapable of riding, then no one would ever learn. The falls are not failures. They are part of the learning process. Eventually, what once felt impossible becomes natural. The same is true for every skill, every dream, and every ambition. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment. They wait until they have more money, more experience, more knowledge, or more confidence. But perfection is an illusion. The perfect moment rarely arrives. The people who make a difference are not those who had perfect conditions. They are the ones who decided to begin despite imperfect conditions. Consider athletes preparing for a championship. They don't become stronger by lifting weights that are easy. Muscles grow only when they are challenged beyond their current capacity. The same principle applies to our minds, our character, and our leadership. We become stronger by carrying responsibilities that seem slightly heavier than what we think we can handle. We become wiser by solving problems we have never faced before. We become resilient by overcoming obstacles we once believed were impossible. Every challenge you face is preparing you for a future version of yourself. The difficult conversation teaches courage. The failed attempt teaches resilience. The unexpected setback teaches patience. None of these lessons can be learned from a place of complete comfort. This doesn't mean you should seek unnecessary hardship. It means you should stop running from the discomfort that naturally accompanies growth. There is a difference between pain that harms you and discomfort that develops you. The discomfort of learning a new skill, waking up early to exercise, speaking in public, or taking responsibility for your goals may feel difficult today, but it is building a stronger version of you tomorrow. Ask yourself this question. What would you attempt if fear didn't control your decisions? Would you start that business? Apply for that opportunity? Learn a new language? Write a book? Stand on a stage? The answer to that question often reveals the direction in which you need to grow. Remember, every successful person you admire has stood where you stand today. They have doubted themselves. They have experienced fear. They have faced rejection. The difference is not that they were fearless. The difference is that they refused to let fear make their decisions. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing extraordinary is created there. Every dream, every achievement, every breakthrough begins the moment you choose courage over convenience. The goal is not to eliminate fear from your life. The goal is to make your purpose bigger than your fear. Because on the other side of uncertainty lies confidence. On the other side of challenge lies growth. And on the other side of your comfort zone is the person you are truly capable of becoming. If I asked you what determines your future, many of you might say talent, intelligence, education, or luck. Those things certainly matter, but they are not the deciding factor. The truth is, your future is shaped less by the big decisions you make once in a while and more by the small decisions you make every single day. The life you dream of is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built through consistent habits. We often wait for a burst of motivation before taking action. We tell ourselves, I'll start exercising when I feel motivated. I'll study harder when I'm in the mood. I'll work on my dream when I have more time. But motivation is unreliable. Some days it shows up, and many days it doesn't. If your success depends on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. Habits, on the other hand, don't ask how you feel. They simply become part of who you are. Imagine brushing your teeth every morning. You probably don't wake up excited to do it. You don't wait until you feel inspired. You do it because it has become a habit. It's automatic. Now imagine if learning, reading, exercising, or practicing your craft became just as automatic. Think about how much your life would change after 1 year. The small things we do repeatedly have an extraordinary impact on our future. Reading 10 pages of a good book each day may not seem like much. But after 1 year, you've read thousands of pages and gained knowledge that many people never will. Saving a small amount of money every week may not seem impressive, but over time it creates financial security. Practicing a skill for just 30 minutes every day may appear insignificant, but after months and years, that practice turns into mastery. This is the power of consistency. Many people underestimate small actions because they cannot immediately see the results. We live in a world that celebrates overnight success, but what we often call overnight success is actually the result of years of invisible discipline. We see the athlete holding a trophy, but we don't see the thousands of early mornings spent training. We admire the successful entrepreneur, but we don't see the countless late nights, failed ideas, and persistent efforts that came before the breakthrough. Success is never built in a single day. It is built daily. Think about a stone being shaped by drops of water. 1 drop changes nothing. 100 drops seem insignificant. But millions of drops, falling consistently over time, can carve through solid rock. That's what your daily habits do. Each action may seem too small to matter, but together they shape your character, your skills, and ultimately your destiny. Unfortunately, the opposite is also true. Just as good habits build success, bad habits quietly build failure. Skipping 1 workout doesn't ruin your health. Missing 1 study session doesn't destroy your education. Wasting 1 hour scrolling through social media doesn't seem harmful, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, those small choices create a life very different from the one you imagined. Our habits are like tiny votes for the kind of person we want to become. Every time you choose to read instead of wasting time, you cast a vote for becoming a lifelong learner. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you cast a vote for becoming a disciplined person. Every time you choose kindness, honesty, or perseverance, you strengthen those qualities within yourself. You are constantly becoming the person your habits are training you to be. This is why discipline is so valuable. Many people misunderstand discipline. They think it means punishment or restriction. But discipline is actually a form of freedom. It gives you the freedom to live the life you truly want instead of becoming controlled by temporary emotions or distractions. Discipline means choosing what matters most over what feels easiest in the moment. Imagine planting a tree. You water it today, but nothing changes. You water it tomorrow, and still nothing changes. Weeks go by, and it still looks small. You might be tempted to stop because your effort doesn't seem to be making a difference. But beneath the surface, the roots are growing stronger. One day, the growth becomes visible. The same thing happens in life. Your daily efforts may not produce immediate results, but they are strengthening the foundation of your future. The key is not to focus on being perfect. Perfection is impossible, and chasing it often leads to frustration. Instead, focus on being consistent. If you miss one day, don't miss two. If you make a mistake, don't quit. Success doesn't belong to people who never fail. It belongs to people who refuse to stop. Ask yourself a simple question. What habits am I practicing every day? Are they moving me closer to the person I want to become, or are they taking me further away? Because every habit is leading somewhere. Every repeated action is shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Remember, your life is not changed by one extraordinary decision. It is transformed by ordinary decisions made consistently over time. Greatness is not found in occasional moments of brilliance, but in the quiet discipline of doing the right things day after day, even when no one is watching. Build habits that reflect your goals, protect them with discipline, and trust the process. One day, you will look back and realize that the small choices you once thought didn't matter became the foundation of the extraordinary life you created. One of the greatest fears people carry is the fear of failure. It stops dreams before they begin. It keeps talented people silent, creative people hidden, and capable people stuck exactly where they are. We often see failure as something to avoid at all costs, as if making a mistake means we are not good enough. But what if we have been looking at failure the wrong way? What if failure is not the opposite of success, but an essential part of the journey toward it? From the time we are children, we are taught that mistakes are something to be embarrassed about. We worry about getting the wrong answer in class. We fear disappointing our parents, our teachers, or ourselves. As we grow older, that fear becomes even stronger. We hesitate to apply for opportunities because we might get rejected. We avoid starting businesses because they might fail. We stay in jobs we don't enjoy because they feel safer than chasing our dreams. Slowly, our fear of failure becomes stronger than our desire to grow. But consider this. Every person you admire has failed. Every inventor, athlete, entrepreneur, artist, and leader has experienced moments when things did not go according to plan. Their lives were not a straight line from struggle to success. They faced rejection, disappointment, criticism, and setbacks. The difference is not that they avoided failure. The difference is that they refused to let failure define them. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls over and over again. If that child believed falling meant they were not meant to walk, they would never take another step. Yet no parent looks at a toddler falling and says, "Maybe walking isn't for you." Instead, they smile, encourage them, and celebrate every attempt.